Hello and welcome to Quizzy Monday, and it's a fantastic Quizzy Monday because it was the only Connect Grand Final. I've just been sorting out a few bits and bobs, but I'm not going to keep talking. I'm going to go straight to the main event, the people you want to hear from. We have Tim and Claire from the only Connect champions, the Data Wizards. Hello, Tim and Claire.
Hello.
Let's put you that way. That's better. And,
that works better, doesn't it?
And to add even more joy to things, we have a couple of much-loved former guests of Quizzy Monday. We have Jacob Kingsbury-Downs and Sangeetha Navaratnam-Blair. So
my God. Hello, everyone.
Wow, that was a tremendous show, wasn't it? We have got lots of... Jacob is on the booze. I'm on the cherry coke. So it's a good night for everyone. We've got some congrats in the chat. Congrats from Catherine Burkett. And what else we got? Hello, folks. Sounds like a party happening at yours, Tim and Claire. What does it feel like to finally have it out in the open that you are the champions after quite a period of time?
Oh my God, to be honest, it's a bit of a relief. I'm very bad at keeping secrets, and this has been like 7 months just stashed away in my pocket.
We haven't been able to believe it for that long, and so it's only kind of become real now it's been on telly.
We've got Jonathan's watching. So we do kind of have all three of you. Sam Whiteley is saying hello, hooray Data Wizards. Gerard is getting slight party. It's always a party when you're around, Gerard. Watching it back, how much of it did you remember, or did it just become a bit of a blur in the memory with all the other games?
Well, I mean, we've still got our little WhatsApp group, and we sort of we're always chatting, and every so often something comes up. And so the thing about the lines with the numbers, at the time I didn't understand that question at all. God bless Jonathan explaining the whole thing. But yeah, for most of it, we've got really bad memories about all the questions that came up.
This is what I say. I always say I'm in such a stressful state that I have a read-only memory during the shows. So all the way through, I've gone like, I can't answer that, and then on TV I'm answering something, and it's just bizarre.
And particularly when there was in one of the missing vowels, Claire, that I thought was particularly awesome. I wasn't even able to write it down because it was that long.
Is it the gargles and grotesques?
Oh, I think that was the other week, which was
brilliant. This week. Oh, right. I don't know what I got this week.
It was a really long number. So it was when you had to times it by 10.
Yeah. But I got the other really long number wrong, so in my head that cancelled out. I forgot that I got another one right.
It's the end result that counts. Claire's saying, congratulations, Data Wizards, awesome performance.
Oh, thank you.
Jacob, Sangeetha, did either of you come up against the Data Wizards?
So we
well,
in the quarterfinals. It was such a fun show, and I mean, just seeing you nail the missing vowels again was such a proud moment. Obviously, I was rooting for you.
Oh, bless you.
It was a true stonking, and I'm just so proud of you. we have this. We go back just before the quarterfinals were filmed. We both arrived at the hotel in Cardiff at the same time, and remember it was the day where we couldn't check into the hotel early enough. We were giving free drinks and bar. Terrible thing, if I know. And it was like blazing hot sunshine, and we had such a fun afternoon.
I always tell people, you spotted us as three nerds with suitcases. You're like, there, and I was like, yeah.
It's not that hard.
You saw each other.
No, I just honestly to see you go from there. I mean, I always knew that you were absolutely fantastic, but that was a total gubbing. You were brilliant. I loved it. Well done.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sangeetha, did you come up against them? You didn't.
We didn't play either of the finalists, but our last game was against the but you guys did such a good job of the end, and both sets of finalists. It was amazing to watch you. And yeah, many memories. I see some comments in the chat as well. Many memories of that Only Connect Hotel, and also where we met Jacob. I think we also met in the lobby somewhere, and we're like, you look like you could be on Only Connect. That looks right. Which I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but it definitely is for us.
I should say Tim and Claire have a gathering, which will account for some of the noise. But we are
We're at the pub, mate.
Oh, you're at the pub. We are absolutely delighted that you have taken time out of much deserved celebrations to join us. It's a real joy. Another person who has joined us was on Mastermind earlier, and that's Pam. And I'll bring Pam onto the stream. People who watch this stream regularly will know. I think Pam and Polly might be the ID. So Pam is often commenting on the stream, and Pam was on tonight. So welcome, Pam.
Hi, congratulations, Data Wizards.
Much, Pam.
Thank you so much.
I'll put my knitting away now.
Morgan said, Pam. Alex McMillan, one of the writers on Only Connect, is saying, happy Only Connect final one and all. Brendan,
Thanks, Alex.
Brendan McMorrow, Data Wizards rock. Hugely impressive performance to beat the golfers. Gerard, it's odd Pam not being here in the comments. Pam, you can send in comments. But yeah, face to name situation. Lovely to see Pam. So we'll talk about Mastermind later. We've got to make the most of having Tim and Claire with us. I've seen comments that were made on Twitter where you were talking about hoping to keep it tight and then get to missing vowels and hope that missing vowels could see you through. It didn't quite play out that way. In the end, the wall was pretty crucial for you, but you must have been happy with how it went all the way through to the end of the wall.
Unbelievably happy. I mean, when I sit at home and watch Only Connect on the sofa, I think, missing vowels, that's my round. But it turns out I had no idea that as a team, we're pretty solid at the walls. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Also, I mean, especially Evan, but the golfers have been incredible on the missing vowels, and we knew nothing about them, knew nothing apart from the fact they got to the final. And so, watching the last few episodes with them in and going, wow, they're incredible. Like, we didn't realise what an amazing team that we were up against.
No, we had no idea.
We were there.
They were a bit terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had known some of their pedigree, they're brilliant quiz bowlers, so the University Challenge kind of style quizzing. Evan is the reigning British quiz champion. Would you have gone into that game with a different mindset, or would you have just thought, oh, hell, we'll go for it?
I think we would have. We thought that they were amazing.
Yeah,
and
completely.
They are. I think we would have had exactly the same mindset. Everybody we've come up against has been incredible because they've got to this stage already.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I had no idea that this whole shadow quiz community existed. It's the first quiz I've ever entered.
You make it sound so...
And so I'll be honest, I've not... Sorry, it's not supposed to sound quite so sinister.
Yeah.
Sangeetha, Jacob, we probably talked about this before, but for you, was this your kind of first introduction as well to that shadowy, murky world of quizzes?
Yes, it is for me. I barely even entered a pub quiz before, but obviously watched Only Connect religiously. So it's been great to watch it as a fan, even as well as being on it, which has been bizarre. But it's been great to see all of the other things behind the scenes. I don't know about you, Jacob.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I completely agree with you, Sangeetha. I think definitely got more into quizzing since having been on Only Connect, which is it's a wonderful world. I love it. But it's been certainly an experience. And Sangeetha and I met up for drinks recently in London and had a good old chat about it all. Didn't we? It was so nice.
Very good fun over martinis.
Indeed. I mean, quizzing world is a great place to make friends.
We got a comment here. So just you wait until the OC reunion night. Such a shadowy event. I think I might have just recovered from the last one 2 years ago, but Valerie won't let me forget that one in a hurry. But yeah, it is a wonderful community, and OC has a wonderful community, and really supportive. As you're seeing tonight, there's lots of former OC players in the chat. Tim and Claire, what was it about the Only Connect experience that was the best, most rewarding thing for you?
Well, I mean, we entered thinking it'd be nice to do a bit of a quiz because we like puzzles and so on. But obviously, it's been a difficult couple of years. The situation around COVID, etc., has been bizarre. But we got to spend 4 or 5 days just making a nice thing with successive teams of lovely people, and we could just sit ourselves in a room with the sun beating down outside and spend 3/4 of an hour doing a puzzle, and it was just lovely. It was just my favorite thing.
It made me feel very lucky.
Yeah,
I felt so privileged to go up on that set and be the first people to hear and see these questions that are being put to us by these amazing question writers, and get to be the ones that are tackling them first. And then, like, so many other people are watching it, but we were the first ones. It's very cool. So lucky.
Jacob, is that how you feel, that it's almost a gift that's been given to you?
Oh my God, yes, of course. I mean, I remember going on and sort of saying to the rest of my team, this is so exciting because ultimately we've just got a new Only Connect to watch. I mean, there are only so many episodes. There are a lot of episodes, but once you've watched them all several times, as I'm sure we all have, it gets to the point at which you're kind of like, oh, and it's just so wonderful. And as you say, like, we've just seen Alex McMillan in the chat, who is such an amazing question writer. It's actually mind-boggling. So to kind of be able to commune with these geniuses in the form of the quiz was such a wonderful privilege.
We have Jack Whaley Cohen arrived just in time for Claire's nice comments about the questions. Perfect timing there, Jack. Or as Claire Barry says, how serendipitous. David says, seeing your name on the desk in that font is a wonderfully surreal moment. It is one of those things that makes it feel real. Did they let you keep your name things?
They did not let us keep the names.
Jacob did.
Oh, you've stolen yours.
I think they tell story for us, so yeah.
Amazing.
That's ridiculous.
That's great. I think our names were similarly having to be squashed in a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I remember having so many comments on Twitter about the kerning, the character spacing about my name. They were going, for God's sake, yeah. We're in the same boat there, Sangeetha.
Pam, don't want to forget you. We've got a comment here about you, if I can find it. Pam's knitting reminds me of Victoria Gross. Now that is one hell of a comparison. Victoria, if you don't know, was awarded or voted the World Quizzer of the Year for last year. Brilliant American quizzer. So Pam, that's not a bad comparison, is it?
No, I wish I was quiz as well as her. I probably can't knit as well as her either.
Have you been on Only Connect, Pam, or do you harbour aspirations?
Oh, I definitely want to be on it. We've got. We thought about it last time. I did apply on my own about 3 years ago, and didn't hear anything. But I think I've got a couple of people who might do it. Maybe our online connections people would do it.
Do it.
Next
I
year.
think we're all egging you on, Pam. Yeah. So Tim and Claire, I mean, there's a lot we could talk through, and we're already kind of starting to run out of time. What were your favourite questions over the course of the night, or your favourite gets?
Of tonight?
I mean, of tonight, 1,900, 1,000. I don't even know. I don't even know. 10. I can't even do maths. I was really proud of Hemi Demi Semi Quaver.
Yeah.
My choir master would have been so proud of me from about 30 years ago. He would have been over the moon. But just the whole thing tonight when I asked Jonathan to explain the straight lines in the maths question, it was glorious to finally get a maths question right.
It's been a real
and that was
bugbear.
a brilliant one.
But
That
we
was a
did-
brilliant answer.
We did. I mean, it was amazing foresight. You warning Victoria in the first match we were on against the Godins that actually, as data science workers, we're not so hot on the maths.
Not good at
But
maths.
despite Jonathan's degree, we don't talk about that.
I mean, that first round, there was only 1 point in it, and there was a kind of an exchange. You know, the golfer stole from you, got a point. You stole a point back on the starting in April question. The answers to film titles are, I have to say, I love that question.
So do I. Amazing
So
question.
good.
Loved it.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate that we didn't get it, but I love the
it's
question.
a really nice question. I'm sure loads of people would have been screaming at their tellies watching that.
Brendan is saying Jonathan was sensational tonight, match winner. I have to say, I think you all were one way or another, but Jonathan had that blinder with that sequences, as you say, on the strokes.
Oh, completely. Yes.
Yeah.
If you could please tell Jonathan that, because he's convinced he'd contributed nothing. Bless him. Just not true at all. He was a wonder.
Yeah.
I will tell him.
Jacob, what stood out to you amongst the questions tonight?
Oh my God, there were so many. I have an entire list. I mean, the one about chemical elements and the places and the directions, that was wild.
Oh, yeah.
Totally wild. The anagrams of the last words of the clue. Or the last, whatever, component of the clue. Brilliant question writing, but my God, it's just so difficult. The one that I was really pleased that I got was the same singer duets. But then I was sort of thinking, like, oh my God! I mean, it was so difficult unless you knew, especially the Aled Jones one, which was kind of the giveaway. But yeah, it was some brilliant questions tonight, and some great answering. But my God, it was tricky. Rounds 1 and 2 were so tricky.
They were.
I just want to mention the wall that we did. We had absolutely no idea about that last connection with the noises or the shouting and so on, until we'd spent a good 30 seconds very slowly delivering the answers to Victoria, and Claire, out of absolutely nowhere, said, "Oh, hang on, they're sounds." They concealed it with an edit, but that was absolutely like Last Chance Saloon.
Whereas in the
Wonderful.
pub tonight, my friend Ian got that before we even sit in his button, so, it's
But I mean, that answer alone was worth what? 3 points, was it?
I
4
was
points.
so focused on it. Like, I knew that I had to think of nothing else while those two answered the others. Yeah, I knew it was important.
So had you not got that, actually the result of the match could have been different, because so many points hinge on understanding that final connection. So absolutely vital. Every contribution makes a hell of a difference. But you won by 3, and that takes us from 7 points to 10 points, doesn't it? So well done.
It takes us back to a tiebreaker, and I could not have handled that. I was not prepared for a tiebreaker.
Jonathan has said, I do still have a bit of a chip on my shoulder for missing 2 maths questions in the quarters. Special ego at work. But Jonathan, you aced it, mate. I think you all did. It was a superb performance. John Robinson from the Birmingham University Challenge team. Jonathan seemed really emotional at the end. Great to see how much it means to the contestants. I mean, can you put into words what it means to have won the series?
I think we all reacted to it in our own specific ways. I mean, you saw Jonathan being a little bit emotional at the time. I don't think it sunk in for me until much later that evening, when we sat down and found a random Central American restaurant and spent hours and hours and hours drinking margaritas and just digesting the whole thing. And it was really gleeful. And yeah.
I mean, I feel like you kind of think everyone's so good. Like, it could have been, depending on the questions on the day, anyone could have won.
Yeah.
And, it was luck. It was luck that those questions were there today. That day, it was fortunate it went our way, and we're very grateful. And our opponents were incredible and so formidable quizzes, like really intimidatingly good, and it just, we're thankful it was this way around. But I think we would have been equally happy to go second place to them as well.
Yeah.
Jonathan, well, firstly, Jack says you would not have enjoyed the tiebreaker we had, which I doubt we're going to be back in the vault for another day. He says. Jonathan says, me getting emotional was the effect of my imposter syndrome, getting a roundhouse kick to the face. Alex, never has a block of perspex meant so much. And Dave Bill, with not a shred of vested interest as a former champion, for the 8th year running, I'll just say Champions League. That's Dave getting his annual bid in just as shamelessly as I do for the season 10 third, fourth place playoff that never was. So, Sangeetha, any questions that really jumped out to you tonight?
Well, I mean, people have mentioned some of the best ones. I really liked the periodic table one. One of the ones I really liked, partly because I got it, was the taxonomy one, and it's mostly because I have burned into my brain that song/rap from biology, which is the Kingdom Phylum Class one, which I'm not going to sing. But
I was going to say you can't mention it and not do the song/rap.
Nobody wants that. Nobody needs that. Jacob is a professional. But it's the rap bit is something like Kingdom Phylum. Oh, see, it's a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. You egg me on. But anyway, the next time we have drinks, Jacob, you can sing it for everybody. Yeah, that was really good. I thought that was a really fun one, but there were some really clever ones and some classic Only Connect ones. I thought the Rainbow of Diseases was really good.
Yeah.
And sitting at home, working those out, that was great. And thinking of, we also said gangrene, but I don't even know if gangrene turns to green. But
it's black, isn't it? More But the thing I loved about Victoria's response to that as well, though, was yes, but that just works on a figurative level with people who are white. And I was yes.
But that was an important point, because
it was.
There is a real problem, without getting too serious, real problem in medicine with conditions only being defined by how they present with white people. So actually, it's quite an important thing to say. And this is how it looks in a certain subset of people.
Yeah, there's a really good Twitter account. I can't remember the name of it, but they do cover especially skin diseases on black and brown people, and they're really good to follow because they document this and kind of just raise awareness. In loads of medics reply to them going, "I've never seen this in a book or anything." So it's something that's very important to address.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it just put back the love, or it just made me realize just how much I love Only Connect for that, and how it just it's just been a brilliant experience, and I was just really pleased that was picked out as something to say on the final as well. It makes all the difference to me. I loved it.
Morgan says Rainbows and Diseases was a great piece of deduction from Claire, whereas David Smith says, I think Rainbow of Diseases is an old Eurovision act. That's entirely possible, or maybe a Scandinavian heavy metal.
I think there might be a death metal act.
So we know you're going to have to go very soon. So 2 points up going into the wall. You aced your wall, albeit kind of lastminute.com. What did you think of the golfers' wall?
That was tricky because we had, the experience of our own wall, so we were looking for the same clues because we know how the pattern goes. They tend to be quite similar walls. So overall, it felt, oh my God, really tricky because of all the colours, but also we were looking for the words beginning with other words. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they didn't spot boards, because that was I'm sure that's come up before, like blackboard and star. Was that theirs? Was that the golf?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and it's a shame we don't have them on tonight, but it was clear that their team was set up with different roles, because there was one point where Francis says, do your jobs, and it was clear that they had particular roles on the wall, but just missed that one.
I would just say that being a team captain on the wall thing it's probably a lot harder than people give it credit for. because you have noise coming into both of your ears. You have two perspex screens, and you have one screen in front of you. You just have to keep stabbing and stabbing and stabbing. And if you just have to keep your thoughts in order. And I've got no time for people who say that Frances was rude or curt with anyone, because she was just getting her job done, and she was doing it brilliantly.
I think she really did exactly what a captain needed to do.
Yeah,
you don't have time to faff around or to be disorganized, do you? And if somebody's job is to look for words that can precede or follow a word, and another person's job is to look for anagrams or homophones or whatever, you want them to be doing that whilst you're doing your thing. Interesting stat from Jack Whaley-Cohen. Data Wizards have the highest ever wall average, 9.4, equal only with the Dice's Series 14 champions.
Can I just mention that the one wall that we didn't complete, the final group contained sitcom dogs. And Claire and I exchange a Frasier meme at least once a week. Just absolutely livid that we didn't get that.
You'd watch Frasier that morning.
So that was the Eddie one, but there were some tough ones in that set.
I love Spaced. Eddie and Colin are obsessed with caterpillar cakes.
Jonathan's just backing up the Frances captain brilliantly through the series. Yes, she has. The golfers were excellent. And if you're gonna win a series, beating a team like the golfers is it's going to have to happen at some point. It happened to you in final, and it was a brilliant performance. Alex is saying, Jack Whaley-Cohen, thank you for another wonderful series. I have to say, before you disappear, it has been a wonderful series. We've had some fantastic teams. Kudos to the casting team, to Jenny and Hannah. And Jenny has now left Only Connect, so that's a real pity. But Jenny and Hannah did an amazing job. The question team had done an amazing job. The show is just going from strength to strength. Beating Coronation Street, for God's sake. It's doing tremendously. So congratulations to everybody involved in the production, and to the teams who have just been not just brilliant quizzers, but really entertaining, really, really lovely people, which is why we love having you guys on.
I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Jenny, who would host a mini Only Connect every single day we turned up, and warm us up and run us through the quiz, and get us all firing on all cylinders. She was an absolutely wonderful personality.
Legend.
Loved working with her.
She was. I'll never forget the advice she gave to us when we first went on set, which was, "Don't be shit." So it was to the point. I think it's because BBC Two had just commissioned it, and there were people from the BBC come to watch. So like, just don't be shit. So anyway, words to live by. So you were 7 up going into the missing vowels. There's a temptation to feel, we're pretty good at missing vowels. We can't blow it. No.
Not in the slightest. I mean, you will have noticed how good they were on the vowels. We weren't keeping count at all, but we knew they were catching up because they were just on fire for the whole thing.
Yeah. They were the 8-syllable words. But you just got enough. You just kept plugging away and getting the odd one there, didn't you? And that was what you needed to be doing.
Yeah, there's an odd thing that happens in the vowels, which is that when you're at home, you think you have to say the entire word before somebody else jumps in. But in the studio, if you sense that somebody on the other team or on your team has got the answer, you can stop and you can relax. And you can just take 2 or 3 seconds to chill out and reset yourself for the next one.
Always, every vowel I've done, I've made sure I said it calmly and correctly, apart from the one I got wrong.
But it didn't matter in the end because you ran out winners by 3 points. What was your favourite game, as it were, within the show? Firstly, game as in match during the series, but also within Only Connect. Round 1, round 2, wall, fit missing vowels. So, what were your memorable bits, and which is your favourite part of gameplay?
I think it's just really clear that we had no idea that we'd be good at walls, but we apparently were, and we seemed to have this kind of flow going with us. That was really fun to do all of them.
Yeah.
But I think that's down to us spending time on Zoom chats for a few months beforehand, just talking to each other, doing puzzles and communicating well. But in terms of matches, I mean, it's really hard to pick one. They all stood out.
I can't pick, but obviously, against the discotheque.
Yeah, I mean, the discotheque was really special because we'd met them the night before, and it was just, it was weirdly casual, but also a bit competitive in a really nice way.
I just wish everyone could win. And it's really, I really mean that when we meet such lovely teams. So it's, yeah.
We've got a lot of love for Jenny. Jenny is going. Where are we? Jenny is making Canada's Got Talent.
Wow!
So that is what she is doing. Morgan's saying you don't know the pressure until you're in there, and this is Connections Online Quiz League walls put pressure on us like no one's business. The wall really can be make or break. You could get 0, you could get 10. So there's a lot riding on that.
Yeah, and shout out really for. Everybody calls it Connections Online Quiz League or whatever. I call it Cockle because I think it's quite sweet. Yeah. And everyone should do Cockle. If you're not already doing it, the next season you've got to sign up in like the next couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so. And and it's just so amazing. It gives you like a taste of it, but also like it's really hard and brilliant, but I have sort of been intimidated by quizzing, and this actually isn't intimidating. It's like really lovely, and people are just so delighted when you get a question right and all this stuff. In my experience, yes, David Bill, sign up for Cockle. I have no affiliation with Cockle apart from the fact that I love it.
It is good fun. Tim and Claire, we know you've got to leave us. We really appreciate you coming along, taking time out to speak to us. It's really great to have you. Any final thoughts on your Only Connect experience and what you might say to anybody who's thinking about going for it right now?
Oh my God, just do it.
Just do it.
Until we entered, I didn't know people were allowed to enter TV quiz shows. I didn't know that was an option, but turns out it is. So just do it.
We got together and thought about what we wanted out of the experience, and I think Tim said it before, we just wanted to do some quizzing and have some fun, and like we've had that all the way through, and that's really kept us sane through all the stress. It's been quite stressful as well, but so it's if you go into it with that mindset, you're going to have the best time regardless of what happens. So definitely do it.
Wonderful. Well,
congratulations!
Congratulations! Raise a glass to the champions. You have 12 months. You have 12 months now of enjoying that Perspex trophy, and the joy. Oh, is it there?
Of course, I had to bring it to the pub.
Hey! Tremendous. Do they still only give you one between 3?
We've got 3.
1 each. Wow.
It's that BBC Two. Really
the other prize for winning OC these days is to be on TV at Christmas. So we can probably expect to see you in a Christmas special before too long.
No, I don't know if I can comment on that.
Well, given the question producer has just made an allusion there, we can probably. So it's fair to think that we'll see you before too long. Do you have to go now, Tim and Claire?
Yeah, right? We do. But thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it.
It's been wonderful. So thanks so much, and congratulations once more, Tim and Claire, the Data Wizards Only Connect champions.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. And now there are 4 of us. So let's just, Jacob, Sangeetha, before we move on to Mastermind and talking about Pam's experience, what about you two? You didn't quite get to the final, but what are your takeaways from being on Only Connect?
I feel like we all have a very similar experience, so I'm going to end up echoing what other people have said, but it was just so fun to be able to enter, to play on like our favorite TV show, and to then see ourselves and to get to play the quiz. And I got a bit emotional listening to Claire and Tim when they were going and saying, I didn't know you could enter onto like a TV quiz show, because I think everyone we met was just so lovely, and we kind of thought they were all going to be really scary, intimidating, but everyone was really normal and just like, but so sweet and friendly, like some of the friendliest people. Especially Jacob was one of the first, I think maybe the first person I spoke to, and you were definitely the first team we spoke to, and it straight away put us at ease, and also obviously all the crew, and they were also just wonderful, and my takeaway is just how lovely people are, and especially in a really asocial time for obvious reasons. It's just been so nice, and I feel it feels really special, like a really special experience. I'm just feeling really emotional talking about it, to be honest.
It does that to you. Jacob, how about you? Same thing?
Totally right. And I was just thinking then, the kind of asocial going to social experience. We were all sat on these desks, weren't we? Just sort of socially distanced and wearing masks and everything, but we still managed to make it work and be really, really sociable. Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously this particular format will favour quizzers who are interested, but it is a place for anyone, even if you're not kind of an absolute, quiz oriented person. You will always be able to nail Only Connect. I think if you have that kind of open-mindedness, and just as I think actually, as the Data Wizard said, having that want to just have a really good time with quizzing, which is really what it's all about. Yes, there's a tiny bit of competition that comes into it, but it's the thing that I really relish about Only Connect is that it's competitive, but it's also so much, I found anyway, and I'm sure Sangeetha agrees, that when the other team gets a question right that you didn't, you're going, oh my God, that was amazing. You nailed it, which I really loved about it. And yeah, it's a really collegial atmosphere. I wish I could do it again and again and again.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the general opinion every year on Only Connect. In terms of your personal experiences, were there any sort of real highlights for you of your Only Connect experience, Sangeetha?
I think, to be honest, there's so many things. Probably in our first game, we got a lot of questions that we were really proud of. Just to unlock certain bits of your memory or your experience. It feels like you're on Slumdog Millionaire and there's like a story behind each question. Like we genuinely would going home, and the long drive home, we did it all together back to London. And we were like, I knew this because of this thing that happened. And it was just lovely. So some of those questions on the wall in the first match we did was, really special.
Jacob, how about you?
I can confirm that the Muppets were incredibly special in their first match. I'll never, ever be able to get over thinking the Liver building was in London. But it was, it was such an exceptional show. I think, I mean, I don't know. I genuinely, obviously getting some of the round 1 and 2 answers on the second clue is like a really good feeling. I'll never forget actually with the Data Wizards when we did the quarterfinals against them. The first question that we got was a really weird question where the first half of the word was an anagram of the second half of the word. So the first one was intestines, because you have and I was very proud. Well, intestine. I was very proud of myself. And I remember just before the wall, we sort of went out and they were going, God, that was terrifying. And I was going, but it's complete luck. You see these clues. You don't necessarily. I've never thought about the word intestines and never thought that it's first half anagram, second half not. But I was it's those moments of sort of breakthrough where actually what we did in the studio was we would look at the other team and they would be like, oh my God. And we had so many moments like that with every team that we played. It was just a great experience of kind of thinking through puzzles, and it is competitive, but it's not like nasty competitive. Which
and Pam, you've been here most weeks as a viewer, as a commentator on Quizzy Monday. How has it been for you watching this series?
Oh, I really loved it. I mean, we'd like to be on it, but I think what's putting us off is the captain. It's still having the screens, I think. But I think, especially since playing the Connections Online League, which we did a lot better in the second series. And so you tend to use it as practice, but I think I'm better at walls now than I was, definitely. But I find the Missing Files is always my favourite, but I think actually playing it is a lot faster. You need to be a lot quicker.
It is a lot quicker. I think in the studio, you see them instantaneously. People are pretty much buzzing. There's a lot more time on watching to see these things. Gerard can never resist a pun, as we know. Intestines, you went with your gut. There you go, Gerard.
Yes, Gerard.
He's thinking up some more now.
Oh, he is. Morgan is saying, Pam and I played and won a cockle friendly written by Robert Crawley.
Oh, we did.
Well,
yes.
There you go. So yeah, definitely can recommend the Connections Online Quiz League. If you want to find out more about that, go to quizcentral.net, but do it quickly. We are very quickly going to have a quick look at the news in quiz, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Mastermind. Valerie, if you could cycle the presentation back to the start. So I'll pop you back into the waiting room, and we'll catch up with you in a couple of minutes. Jacob, you can refill your glass. Pam, you can knit one, pearl one, cast off. And Sangeetha, you can do whatever you need to do.
Also, Valerie, shout out to Valerie being the beautiful magician's assistant.
She really is. She doesn't come on camera, but hang on, Valerie, let's show your hand. Let's show that you're. There you go. She's a real person. Valerie exists. There you go. And on that bombshell, we'll look at the news in the world of quiz. So let's have a look now at Quiz Week, and let me add that to the stream. Oops, that is not. Oops, loading. It's loading. This is very swish now, isn't it? If it's loading. Oh, thankfully it's with us. So if we could have next slide, please. So last week, in the vote for Quiz of the Week, Sean Webb won for his brilliant performance in the Illinois Open Quiz Bowl tournament. Joint second was Lorna Frankel for her performance in the online quiz league, but also she was part of the Ramblers in their brilliant performance in the third, fourth place playoff in Only Connect. And Andrew Allsperger got the only full house in OQL USA last week. So congratulations to them. Team of the week was the Ramblers from Only Connect. Second was the Ilkley Moors Last Sigh, who won the Illinois Open Mirror last weekend. And third was Imperial College, who won University Challenge last week. Congratulations to all of those. Don't forget, you can send in nominations to tinyurl.com/ATQ nominations on an ongoing basis, and we pick them up for the relevant week. Nominations until 5 p.m. next Monday will be included next Monday evening. And moving on, in our What is the Question competition, the answer was comb, and the winner was this question by Keith Andrew, commenting on the 1982 Falklands War. Argentine author Jorge Luis Borges said the Falklands thing was a fight between two bald men over a comb. Congratulations to Keith. We released a new answer on Sunday, and we've got 30 odd questions. The answer is cat, and you can now vote for the long list at tinyurl.com/WITQ cat, and then later in the week there'll be a short list to vote on. And moving on, just a reminder that Q22 is out, the latest in our Quiz Omnium. You can watch that video now on All Things Quiz. And don't forget to help us get that to 1,000 subscribers. Like these videos and subscribe to our channel. That will help other people like you to find us and help us get to 1,000. So that is it for the roundup of news from us. In the past week, though, in the world of quiz, in the International Culture Challenge, it was the final last night of Tier 1 between Mark Grant, Victoria Gross, or Ronnie Gupta, and Victoria Harvey? Might have got that name wrong. But after 6 questions, Mark and Victoria Gross were tied. Mark Grant and Victoria Gross were tied on 14 points each. It's Taylor Harvey. So Ronnie was third and Taylor Harvey was fourth on 10. So it went to a tie-break between Victoria Gross and Mark Grant. Victoria won it 2-1, which means Victoria retains the International Culture Challenge. Victoria is the World Quizzer of the Year, but she was pushed all the way by Mark Grant of Wales. So well done to Victoria. She's nominated for Quizzer of the Week. In the online quiz league, there were no full houses in OQL again this week, with a clutch of players scoring 7 out of 8 on their own questions. Of those, Scott Blish gets a nomination for being the only player in Division 1, so with no free guess, to get 7. And Rob Hanson got 7 out of 8 in Division 5, so he also gets a nomination. A team nomination goes to Amoebas for their 52-49 win over banana splits. In OQL USA, there were 3 individual full houses this week. So Andrew Ulsberger made it back-to-back perfect games. He hasn't got a question of his wrong yet this season. Chris Ottolino and Alex Kreisel were also flawless this week. They all get nominations. Unsurprisingly, World Team of the Year, top Division 1 in America, that's Neutral Mills Hotel, and they're fast approaching a year since they were beaten in the league. But Wednesday Academic Purists and Nacho Love also have a 100% record in this season, and team nominations go to the Wednesday Academic Purists and the Haunted Bauhaus of Pain for their wins in high aggregate matches this week. In the QLL Cup, the already nominated Rob Hansen also scored 7 out of 8 in the Cup this week, and he was one of a wide selection of players to do so, including me, humble brag. But the nomination goes to Jonathan Gibson, who scored his 7-2s, playing for the lowest ranked team of all the players with 7-2s. And Team of the Week nomination goes to Grey Monks, who overturned a 28-point starting deficit to win by a single point. In the World Series of Quiz, the top scorer in a match with no tubs of lard was Sean Webb. He takes a nomination. Again, can he repeat his win from last week? In the Quizzing World Cup, Team Northeast's match against OK Zoomers was tied at the end of regulation time, and in a head-to-head shootout, it was David Hesp of Team Northeast who sealed the victory, and he gets the nomination. That match aside, it was Astatine Hunger Force who produced the performance of the round, beating Coachella Fitzgerald 48-45. A reminder, as we said earlier in this stream, that Connections Online Quiz League and Pop Culture Challenge are both in the last throes of trying to find players for the coming series, so look out for those. In Mastermind, we saw Paul win earlier. We'll hear more about that in a minute. And we saw the Data Wizards become Only Connect champions, and they get a nomination for that. And on University Challenge, we saw Emmanuel College win 155 to 140. So a recap of the nominations for this week. For Quizzer of the Week, the nominees are Scott Blish, Jonathan Gibson, Victoria Gross, Rob Hansen, David Hesp, Alex Kreisel, Chris Ottolino, Andrew Alsberger, and Sean Webb. And for Team of the Week, Amoebas, Astatine Hunger Force, Data Wizards, Grey Monks, Haunted Bauhaus of Pain, and the Wednesday Academic Purists. You can vote at tinyurl.com/QW24Jan until Friday evening. So that's tinyurl.com/QW24Jan until Friday evening. And that is it from Quiz Week for this week. We'll return now to our usual programming, and I'll bring back Jacob, Sangeetha, and Pam. Welcome all. And you are all in the same place. This is getting a habit as far as I'm concerned. Morgan, talking about Valerie, was nearly like the lovely Samantha in I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. There you go.
I was going to say that, Morgan, and I didn't know a way to do it, but I'm so proud of you for making that reference. This series has been particularly blue, in my opinion, if you've been listening.
Anyway, Pam, what possessed you to go on Mastermind?
I don't know now. I watched it. Well, I think our family watched it since the very beginning, all the way. We've always watched it, and I think when Harry was on it last year, of course, he's in our Quiz Nations team, and we always travel to your venue together. I just thought, oh, maybe I'll have a go. And then you think, oh, I've got to actually do it now. And then I think the unfortunate thing with us, we were the very, very first recording. So we really got separated. Once you got to the studio, we, unlike Only Connect where you're chatting to people, you didn't really chat to anybody. And there was quite a lot of delay. And it just, I think that's when my nerves got worse because we had too much sitting around. So, and then also traveling in COVID times, it was still like the first time I'd been anywhere. So it was, oh yeah, I mean, I was pleased to get on it really. But yeah, I didn't completely mess up. I just, as you know, you were just annoyed by all the questions that you got wrong, and they're the ones I remember.
And you picked Elgar. Was there some particular reason for going for Elgar?
Well, it wasn't. My first couple of choices were turned down. Marx Brothers was one of them.
Oh, nice.
And then I also took some, obviously, ideas from Harry and people, and generally people don't try and get a too big topic. And obviously Elgar's local to where I live. And apparently my great-grandfather knew him and played in a band with him. So I think that's when I was interviewed, that they thought that was quite interesting. And I quite enjoyed it once I got a lot of research and went to his birthplace museum and wrote hundreds of questions. That's how I did it. I just wrote hundreds of questions on a spreadsheet. I like my spreadsheets.
Okay, spreadsheet. Did you go down the flashcard route or just stick to spreadsheet?
I never used a flashcard. I never wouldn't know what to do with them. No, it's just big spreadsheet and answers, and then I cover them up and then do a little tick box so they come up yes or no. And I must have had about 400 questions, and then you get about 8.
Now, you said something on social media, I think earlier today, about how you caused the recording to be stopped. Is that right? Let's hear what happened here, Pam.
Well, it's quite chilly in the studio. I mean, nobody else seemed to comment, but they did tell us it was going to be cold. And it's going to be like me. When I get nervous, I get even more cold. And my nose started running. And I had some tissues hidden around my back. And after, in the general knowledge, or in between the 2 rounds, I thought, I've got a big chip on my nose. I thought, I can't possibly have that camera zooming in on my face. So I had to wave at them and get a tissue to stop it.
It does seem to me that the studios are either really, really cold or really, really hot. What's the OC studio like?
Colder, I think.
I don't know. I run really well, so I quite like.
Yeah, same. I also do. Yeah. We were fine.
Rogue.
I'd rather be roasting hot myself. When I was on, because I did Impossible, and we were on the top row of 3 rows of people. So we were on the top row under the lights. So it was quite hot there, so it was quite nice. But as soon as you went down and sat in the front, you think, oh, it's quite cold down here. But the rest of the people in the studio were standing with coats on, so it wasn't just me that was cold. It was, but then I just seemed to notice it more than other people. I'm just a bit thin-blooded.
Alex says Belfast has a natural emotional coldness. Apologies on behalf of the city, Pam.
Oh, they were very nice. Belfast was nice.
Yeah. Belfast is... Oh, look, here's a little nugget. John Humphreys had a heater brought in to put under his desk. How the other half live. If you could have had that, Pam, how things might have been different. Yeah. You got seven of your Elgar questions.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I think that was when my brain thought, well, I was hoping I'd get at least 10.
But I should say
that is great.
I mean, I have I have a PhD in music. I have no idea how you got some of those questions. I am so impressed.
That was my 400 questions.
It was just incredible. I wrote down, these questions are so tough, like some of the most unknown works of Elgar. So I was so impressed. You did brilliantly. I don't think you should.
When my friends tweeted me, he's a cricket scorer, and he's I think he's a music teacher, and he plays. And he said, oh, I didn't get some of those, and he's into music, so. I can't remember what.
I didn't get most of the questions. They were just so incredibly good. You did them with such. There was a great graciousness in what you were doing. It was really very. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I didn't watch myself. I had to wait for my friend to watch and tell me if I pulled any faces, because I do have a habit of frowning and gurning. But apparently I didn't.
You look great. Don't be silly, honestly. And you answered brilliantly. And the questions were tough. I mean, I genuinely thought I would get a few more than I did. So I'm so impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know very much about Elgar, so I would have been saying Nimrod for every question up until Nimrod actually came up, and thereafter would probably have been silent. So no, I mean, it's hard because you prepare 400 odd questions. You hope that you're covering everything, but this is a guy with a well-connected life, a mammoth body of work. You know, you could be asked
Yeah.
anything, and you know, so it is tough.
Well, they gave me 2 books, and I'd already got one on my own books. And the second book, I thought, oh, this book's quite boring. It just seemed to go off. It wasn't so factual as I thought. Oh, there can't be anything different in there that I've already read, and obviously there were.
As a musicologist, that sounds very, very, you know, there's no fact. It's just all somebody's opinion. I totally understand it. Yeah, indeed, a load of waffle. That's what we get paid for.
There can't be anything new that I haven't already read about. I must know everything.
So, I mean, it was quite tight, the first round. Paul was a little bit in the lead, but there wasn't much between you all.
Yeah, I think we were all, because we were all first on, and we all had a lot of hanging around, and they had to retake the front bit several times because of something on Kim's shirt. I don't even know what it was. I think we were all nervous, which is probably why none of us got really high scores, but we're all pretty similar, so I suppose it made it interesting for the viewers.
Yeah, Gerard chips in. Main thing to know about Elgar, he has a great tash on the £20 note. Indeed. Very true. That didn't come up though, did it? So
No.
that would have been the Slumdog Millionaire question.
Yeah, but it was all round. I don't know. I'm sorry to interject, but my favourite musician in the world is Björk, which was one of the special subjects.
Yes.
Elgar and Björk on the same mastermind question. It was fantastic. And actually, my PhD supervisor is close friends with Björk and has written a book on her and all of this sort of stuff like that. They're very, very close. And I texted her in the middle going, my God, are you watching Mastermind? She went, wouldn't have got a single question, I don't think, so far. They were so difficult. So I think it was a toughie all round. Absolutely. I think Brendan in the chat saying that Elgar was a particular toughie, and I totally agree. Björk was hard as well. Like, you know, even if you think you know the subject, you don't know it quite as much as the people who specialize in it, which is kind of what's amazing about Mastermind. You know, it's such a. In fact, I was having a chat with my partner earlier about Mastermind, and the chap who won, Paul, who won with the Björk questions. He said, you know, I really like casual quizzing, and we were going, well, casual quizzing, really? Like, I mean, Mastermind is the most complicated kind of quizzing you can do, because as you both said, you know, you have to do 400, if not more, questions and learn everything. It's not casual at all, but so it just goes to show how much effort was put in, Pam, and I thought you did amazingly.
Yeah. And then, but the only thing was, when it finished, I thought, oh God, at least I haven't got to do it again. You're sort of happy, and then you're also relieved. You're thinking, oh, I'd have to go home and swat up another topic.
Was this your first time doing it, Pam?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, first time for reconnaissance, as I will say. Now, Sangeetha, we got a comment here. GK sets were on the tough side tonight. What did you think watching it?
Well, I only caught the second half of it because I was unfortunately had a work meeting. But I did catch a couple of the last sets of questions, and I thought they were tough. There were really good answers though, and I thought that people did. I could tell, you know, when you could see that somebody's really prepared, thinking about their passes, and I was really impressed with the last. I think I got about 15 minutes, to be fair, nearly. I was really impressed. I thought it was really strong quizzing, even just the second half. But I didn't catch the beginning. I'm sorry, Pam.
Yeah, no, I forgot that you weren't going to be able to see all of it. So I did you a bit of a hospital pass there, Sangeetha, but you dealt with it very well. So.
There was one in the GK though, Sangeetha, at the very beginning. I just laughed so much. So it was amazing technique for the quiz, because what the guy had tried to do, I think it was the first person that was doing the general knowledge, and it was Zeno. It was, the answer was Zeno, and he said, and it was which Greek philosopher, and he said Oedipus.
I did catch that actually.
As a result, he then got that question wrong, but he was then able to get the next question, which he got right. So actually, that is how Mastermind works in terms of technique. But, I couldn't help but giggle, because he was obviously thinking,
I know afterwards he said, I don't think it was that one. It was something he said. He made a silly answer to, and he said, "Why did I say that?" I thought, "Yeah, we've all said you just say something because you don't know what to say."
And because you don't know what you don't want to pass. I mean, it's unfortunate with Kim that he started off really, really well and then just hit a brick wall. And there were like 6 or 7 that he just got wrong. And I thought he could have been fantastic. But
I mean, it's better than saying Katy Perry, isn't it? You know, at least it was a Greek name and all that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't know. It was just because it seemed like he was thinking so strongly about what Greek philosophers were there. And then he just came out with that. It was a shame.
Put a name.
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
We've got a comment in the chat from Felipe Andres Castro Albuquerque. Greetings from this Chilean boy from Lima, Peru. Chilean in Lima. I love this channel. And you are my favorite contestants. There you go. So that is lovely. And we even just saw a little bit of Polly there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm back to front here. It confuses me.
Goes everywhere with Pam.
Polly was in the studio, but I hid him. Hid him down the side of the shiny stage.
I did worry when you said about guess where I hid him. I was thinking, I'm not sure I want to be guessing, Pam. I think that's a little bit too personal.
No, I didn't sit him on the chair. I put him out of sight.
Gareth, is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?
Who knew that Mastermind could get so steamy? I mean, in the end, Paul won, and won by a little bit of a margin. So it's a well done to him. But will you give it another go, Pam?
Yeah, I think when Harry said that's when I said, I wouldn't do it again. He said, "Oh, you might change your mind in a couple of weeks." And I thought, yes. I think because I rushed my general knowledge answers and then got more and more tense, which is, that's why I said, I remember what I got wrong. Like the bottles. I learned all those. And the following week, I was in speed quiz and exactly the same question came up. And I was one of the first. And I thought, there you go. If you'd just taken 1 second, you'd have got that one right. So I think
it's horrendous when you're on, you're the only person.
I know you blurt.
Yeah, no, sorry, Pam. I was just saying that it's when you are, you're the one person that's got to answer the question. You're obviously going to sort of panic and think, but genuinely, he was the Paul who won. He did. I will admit, exceptionally well at Björknoid.
Yeah.
That was extraordinary. But at the same time, his general knowledge was sort of matched others in the quiz. It wasn't that he just won on the general knowledge. So I think, to be honest, you should absolutely go again. You were so good, and it was just the luck of the draw in those sort of situations.
Oh yeah, and I think probably wish I'd applied when it wasn't still COVID, and you got to sort of chat with. Well, I did meet Andrew Fanco beforehand, so but that was just briefly in the hotel. So
if you get another question on bottle sizes, Claire has said Mick Jagger really makes stupendous burping noises. So says Paul McCartney is the mnemonic for bottle sizes. There you go.
I know that. The thing is, I know it, but I just didn't take a second to work it out. I just said any number.
Jones records many sizes of bottle now. I prefer, sorry, Gerard, I prefer Claire's.
I think I know a different one that Barry Simmons said on Eggheads. Something about Michael Jackson or something.
Oh, probably best steering away.
Yes, I better not say that.
I've got a quizzer lives with me, and we were just looking at Mick Jagger before you said. We were going, ooh, what on earth could, and now I've just screenshotted it. I'm going to use it forever. Thank you very much, Claire.
Yes, it's one thing knowing them and then just thinking, if I just take a second, and then you get more. You think, oh, I missed that. But at least I didn't freeze altogether. So.
No, you look. Yeah. Anybody who has the guts to go on a show like Only Connect, like Mastermind, like University Challenge, deserves respect for for being a doer rather than a talker, for putting themselves up there for scrutiny, and for playing the game, because we love these shows and we can only watch these shows if people put themselves forward for them. So, you did well. You're competitive. Next time round, I'm sure you will be, knowing what you know now, you will be able to give it a stronger shot. And knowing how good a quizzer you are, Pam, I'm confident that you will do well. So,
thank you. Well, I think maybe try something with the team next time. So
well, there you go.
Maybe
only connect beckons.
Yes.
Before we go, because we really ought to be wrapping up, just a word for University Challenge, and it's unfortunate because it was the only Connect Grand Final that we and Mastermind. People only get one show and that we haven't really given it much attention, or any attention, to be fair, because both of these teams we're going to see again in this round. But it was a good match. St John's versus Emmanuel, with Emmanuel. Let me just check. Yeah, Emmanuel rolling out victors 155 to 140. Was there anything that anybody saw on that they just wanted to bring to the front?
I'm so obsessed with Malcolm, the captain of Emmanuel. I think she is utterly brilliant.
Oh, yes.
I love the way that she controls the team, but isn't so, she doesn't push anyone down, but she's also like, I know this. And I think it's absolutely excellent. I just can't wait to see her in the next episode. I just love watching her. For me, question-wise, though, it was the music round was really tough. Obviously, I would say that, but as the first one, I'm surprised they guessed Chopin. It seems like the most obvious Rachmaninoff prelude that there is, but maybe that's just me. But then there was the one at the end of the music round, which is about the fact that this is so niche for anyone who's not interested, you pluck the string against the wood. And famously in music theory, you call that a Bartók pizzicato. When you put like a little cross above the note and you smack it against the string. So I thought that was going to be the guess. So I immediately said Bartók, but of course it was Mahler. And I just wasn't expecting that whatsoever. So I thought that was a little bit of a naughty one to put that in the question. Well, in what Jeremy was saying anyway, because it just felt a bit like, well, who's that going to be? Mahler's not famous for doing it. Anyway, that's a very boring musical anecdote there for you.
Sometimes too much knowledge can be a problem there, I think. Sangeetha,
I was hoping to have Elgo in the music.
Yeah. That would have been. My music rounds, I'm terrible at them. I really liked that it started off with the first answer to the first question was trivia, which I thought was a really nice little quizzy touch. And then my favorite question was probably the ones with the pairs of words with the T at the end, which I definitely didn't get most of those answers. I don't know how many, maybe it just got one, but that was a good round. And we like the theatre ones because we're particularly fans of theatres, so we got going to the theatre, not theatres. Well, a little bit, I suppose. Anyway, and then we got those, and that was great as well. It was nice to have a picture round that was also something like a theatre one. Well, they were usually maps and stuff, aren't they? So yeah, it was a good match and very tight.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah. I thought Emmanuel winning, I think just about, everybody on that team got a buzz. And I think I do like to see that. And that probably was the difference. Chan from St John's was really good. Really, really good, as well as being captain. And Ouyang probably had a quiet game by her standards because she's a great player. But Emmanuel, they just all kind of pulled stuff out. And Raffle, I thought, was very, very good in seat 4 for Emmanuel. So interesting match, tight match, could have gone either way, but it went to Emmanuel. So St John's being ahead from the match and then just being pipped at the end. I feel their pain, says John Robinson. Your time will come, John. Well, we hope so anyway. John from Birmingham there. Yeah, they were trading punches, these two teams, all the way through the match. So it was, you never quite knew how it was going to go, which is how we want it. So, champagne moment of the evening. What was your favourite moment across everything that we saw tonight? And it can be something that you did, Pam, or said, or it can be something somebody else did. But let's start with Jacob. What was your favourite moment of the night?
So the thing I've written the most hearts next to was something I've already said, which was Victoria pulling the question editing, and well, no, it wasn't. She wasn't even pulling them up. It was just the idea that those questions worked for people who had white skin, and it was very much a conceptual thing based on emojis and based on white people. And to me, that was my champagne moment of the evening, because it revealed to me just how much people who are involved in Only Connect think about these things, and I really appreciated her doing it. That was my moment.
Brilliant. Sangeetha?
As much as I very much appreciate that, as somebody who does have a lot of skin conditions and they don't look the same as everyone else's, I really enjoyed all the missing vowels, and especially the 8-syllable words. I think that just was really classic final, and really fun. And I think a lot of people would have been able to get maybe one or more, but at least one of them. So that feels really great when it's such a tough one, and you could kind of say Machiavellianism or something at home, and that was, I think, a really, really brilliant one to see them spar then as well.
Yeah. Pam, how about you?
Well, I missed some of the Only Connect people obviously messaging me. I was trying to ignore some of them. But I think Jonathan getting that numbers one just pleased him, and it pleased me, pleased the team. Yes,
I think that was possibly mine as well. I did like Francis's captaincy on the wall, which I thought was no nonsense and just what you need. But I do think Jonathan on those mass strokes was great. The vowels were great. I thought it was very nasty of them to not reveal the scores after the second set of missing vowels. Keep us all in suspense.
Because I wasn't watching it. Because I wasn't watching that close. I'm thinking, what's the score? What's the score? Tell me.
But no, I guess to be kind of a little bit sentimental. I think just Only Connect ending a fantastic season on a high with two really good teams battling out, playing well in the balance right till the death was exactly what that series deserved. And I'm glad I got it. Not glad I got it. That makes it very selfish. I'm glad it got it, because I think this series has been fantastic, and to have a competitive final was absolutely the right thing, rather than a walkover or something like that, which would have perhaps not fit the spirit. So yeah, single answer probably Jonathan's answer, but overall just Only Connect going out on a fantastic high, and now we've got to wait until the next series before we get to do it all again, or at least till Christmas. No, before Christmas, won't it? So just probably 6 months.
Well, it's so exciting though, isn't it, to think what the new series will bring.
Yeah, and you'll get the experience of watching other people playing with your thing. Only Connect being your thing, not Jacob.
Gareth, this is a very blue episode, and I'm here for it. But wow,
Quizzy Monday late. It's the extreme after dark version. But no, it's that thing of, put it another way. It's been your playground, and now it will be somebody else's playground. If you want the U certificate explanation. So both of you will have that, Jacob, Sangeetha, and it will hurt, and you will think that somebody else is where you should be. And to be fair, it probably only lasts about a decade, and then you'll be over it. So well, maybe not. So we've got here we go. Coleman Balls, I beg your pardon, Gareth, really matron. Yeah, we are ending Only Connect's journey on a carry-on moment.
As it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
As it absolutely should be.
Also, lots of love to Morgan. Wow.
So yeah, that is it for tonight. Thank you very much to Tim and Claire for coming on from the champions, the Data Wizards, champions of Only Connect. Really, really pleased that they could join us amidst their celebrations. It was lovely to have them on. Lovely to have Jacob and Sangeetha back and to hear from you again. It's just great. Reminders of wonderful people from a brilliant series. And Pam and Polly, great to see you on Quizzy Monday rather than just reading. Rather than just reading your comments, Pam. It's just been great to have you on, and well done on Mastermind. And I'm sure you'll be back with a vengeance on that or something else very, very soon. Don't forget to vote for what is the question and for Quizzer and Quiz Team of the Week. Those votes are open now. We will put links to them in the description of the video shortly after we finish. And we will be back next week when it will be a slimmer show. I hesitate to say a sadder place without the joy of Only Connect, because we will find joy in University Challenge and we'll find joy in Mastermind. But it will be different. So yeah, we will be through on Quizzy Monday all the way through to the end of the quiz season. And we hope you will be with us and hope you will join us again next week. And don't forget, like and subscribe. If you haven't already, press the button below somewhere down there. I'm pointing at Pam's head. I don't mean to. Carry Only Connect. Yes, all the pointing. So please, yes, like and subscribe. Help us to get 1,000 subscribers so that more people will find out about us and what we do. But until then, have an absolutely wonderful week and look after yourselves and enjoy your quizzing. Goodbye, everybody.